listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Fire this thing up, focus this thing, and prepare this thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is your Tony Basilio show. It is a Wednesday, Rice fans, and the Vols are about to get back into action this weekend, and the world will never be the same, as it's football time in Tennessee. And also our Machi tailgate, which we're excited about. I was doing some things for the tailgate just a second ago, and I looked up, and Laura said, "Do you realize what time it is?" And I said, "No, I do not." And she said, "Well, you're late." And I said, "Well, that kind of hurts, because I've really made a, I not only was this year the geophysical year of the common fan, 2025 is also the geophysical year of being on time for whatever it is you're doing. And I failed miserably in both ends. But Sean Sinclair, we press on, brother. We press on today. Be great to see the Vols back in action, will it not? As Joe Kirt's going to join us today here in a little bit. Cinco, how we doing? Cinco. Brian, can you hear me? Doesn't sound like Cinco can hear me. Brian, boy. Uh-oh, sweetie. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, gentlemen, how we doing? I had you guys muted there for some reason. Cinco, how we doing, brother?
Hello. Man, we're doing great, Tony B.
Beautiful.
It was an interesting experience with the week off.
Yep.
It kind of feels like I've distanced myself from the whole deal after the recent, Oklahoma game. Maybe I need some help getting back in the fold here. My interest is waning, I'm afraid.
I think that's what you do when you have a playoff sport and you get eliminated from the playoffs. I think that's kind of next sport up, right, Bri? Basketball Vols tonight, right, Bri? Next sport up, Bri.
Yeah, that's correct. We have a 40-point line in that game, like we have a 40-point line in football.
40-point line and a 40-point line.
I also think when you have a 40-point line in games, that can also challenge your interest level a little bit.
I would say, Cinco. Because I can promise you this, Sean. You'll be pretty into it next week.
Yep.
I'm
ready to dive. Ready to dive into what you're going to talk about on your blog today and what you started yesterday about the Florida Vandy games. And I've got to
hit it.
I've noticed a new thing here among coaches is coaches now at this part of the season when they've been eliminated, now they want to rewrite the narrative and talk about how, hey, wait a second, even though we're not making the playoffs, we've had a darn good year.
Yes, sir.
You guys should be fans should be really appreciative of what we're doing.
Yep.
I find that interesting.
Well, you got to sell, Sean, before, during, and after. You got to sell. I mean, part of being a head coach is the ability to sell what I'm doing. And so, Sean, elaborate on that, if you will.
So if I gleaned off this off of VolQuest, and it was it's a quote attributed to Eli Drinkafifth.
All right.
And let's see here.
Because the Drink just got eliminated.
Anyway.
Had a good year. They just got eliminated, though.
Yeah, so they've been okay. But, he still has yet to win if I'm mistaken, he's still yet to win a game against an SEC foe that was above 500. But anyway, Eli Drinkafifth is on Tiger Talk, and he's quoted as saying, "We got to get out of this, oh, man, it's playoff or bust. If the season only counts for 12 football teams and we got 127 D1 football teams, that math's not going to math very well. There's a whole heck of a lot to be proud of," evoking some Phil Fulmer there, which I appreciate always.
Always.
But it's very interesting to me because all of these coaches are upwardly mobile, behind the scenes with their agents and their families.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them is employing their staffs to look at every single kid, playing college football right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're hitting up every booster and AD trying to squeeze more money because that's what brings the kids in. No longer is it there is no longer value in how good of a recruiter you are. Remember when we used to have the celebrity recruiters?
You don't even hear about those guys anymore, Sean, do you? You don't hear about the celebrity recruiters anymore.
No, you don't. And now it's all about this. But so it's funny how it doesn't go both ways with coaches now. It's as soon as now, mind you, when they lose, it's it's self-inflicted wounds. It's this. Well, that goes back to coaching, doesn't it?
It's
we got the youngest roster. Going okay, it's young roster. I get it. But it's just very funny, and I mentioned Drinkwitz because that was his quote, but I haven't mentioned any other coaches. But I find it very interesting. You're right. Their job and their narrative is to sell the positive. But I don't think I'm alone. And once I didn't think I was playoff or bust, but once we accrued that third loss, my interest level kind of cratered.
I sense some steam in our fan base, just to tell on us a little bit. And I've talked to other people that do this as well. I sense that people are, what's the term here? I sense that there's a depression over the land. I sense that people are a little bit unplugged from the football deal. Personally, I'm not, because I kind of thought this was what the season was going to be, Sean. So I was expecting the team to be 9-3. They're tracking for that. Now, I will tell you this, because I was on with George Plaster yesterday, and this has just become more and more readily apparent to me that if these guys lose to Vanderbilt, fiddle fart around and lose to Vanderbilt, that head coach is going to lose a lot of credibility with those money people. So there's still a huge portion of this schedule left that is of consequence. Like, these games still really matter, and how your team plays matters. But the challenge now is, and I was talking to Plaster yesterday about this. I think the challenge now is when I'm at Tennessee and I get eliminated, okay? Not so much at Missouri, but at a place like Tennessee where I went to the playoffs last year and I get eliminated. How do you keep the wheels on something when the air goes out of it? Because if we feel like the air went out of it, Sean, imagine what the kids in that room feel like.
Yeah, I think you're right. Back in the day, there wasn't this. The bowl system was negotiated in smoky back rooms, as they used to say, and who could guarantee the most visiting fans, et cetera. But it is interesting. I had an opportunity because I haven't watched much of Indiana. Yep. I really haven't. And while we have our small little text group, and I was rooting for the Lions,
sure,
Penn State last week, and because of you, I was watching that game, and so casually I'm watching Indiana. Well, let's see what all the fuss is about, right? I'm here to tell you that fuss is real, and I hear everybody, and what I'm trying to say is the fans' frustration. Indiana would kick the living you-know-what out of us. I don't care what the score was at Penn State. I don't want to hear about talking about transfers. It's Indiana. That's lower than Kansas up to a couple years ago.
Yep.
Indiana, they play a different brand of football than we play. And if they have NFL players on there, then they've developed those NFL players. But they play with an intensity, they play with a discipline, they play with a level of execution that's foreign to and I've been to every game, that's foreign to what I'm seeing with a T on the helmet. And that's just one. I watch Vanderbilt too, mainly because it's a hate watch.
Yep.
But you're not selling me on they have better players than we do. The tight end's nice, Pavia's nice. I'll go as far to say as I think Aguilar's his equal. I really believe that.
If Aguilar, if the field goal would have been good against Georgia, he would be up for player of the year in the league with Pavia, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Yep.
Right, but the point being, and then last night when I was listening, I have nothing against this man. He seems like a fine guy, but they finally dragged Tim Banks out.
Yep.
For a press conference this week.
3 months later. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't want to pound of flesh. I don't want to scalp. I'm not looking to, dock his pay. That's not my business. I don't pay his salary. But that was the least inspired, least informative. I mean, just own up. I mean, come on. Ray Charles can see what's going on out there.
God!
And I think that's why. I think if there's a malaise with the fan base, I think the malaise was earned by this football team.
God.
And I'm not going to accept any kind of responsibility, for that. It's as you famously say, I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. It's a great line. I tell friends that I'm like, look, I love you. I didn't do it. And by the way, with this thing, I didn't do it. And Danny White's got a waiting list, and I didn't do that. But the fact is, the great Joe Kirt, they're hanging banners with the Lady Vols. Ascended to number 1 earlier in the year. They host North Carolina on Friday night. Tennessee's a 3 seed in the regional. Rematch of the opening game at Regal Stadium, where the Lady Vols won 2-0. Shea O'Rourke, who scored both goals in that game, has been out since mid-season, but the Lady Vols have pressed on. They found their way into tournament soccer. Joe Kirt will be the man of the match, the man of the hour of power. On the other side is a great Joe Kirt joins your Tony Basilio show, and I didn't do it after this.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine. Live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
As a great Brian Hartman just said to me, and he's right, it's sort of a pre-production meeting of sorts for this interview. The great Joe Kirt he's got a presence about him, you know, Former quarterback here back in the day might have said, Ron Mitchell, if you're listening, that this man's got a meaner about him. And I bring on the TLD Logistics Hotline now without further ado. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Meet and greet. He's intergalactic, intercoastal, infrared, and ultraviolet. Joe Kirt of My Lady Vol, head coach fame. And Joe Kirt, Friday night, let's get it on. North Carolina's in town. It is a 6 o'clock Eastern time start. It is a new season. It is time to hit go. What say you as I welcome you in?
No, we can't wait. Let's get after it again. It's where we started. Let's start the postseason where we started the regular season. So, just really excited to be back at Regal. Been tremendous all year here at home, and it's a credit to our fans, the environment they create, the energy and passion our team has for playing at Regal Stadium, and it's one of the best venues in the country, made even better by the environment our fans create for us. So we're excited. We can't wait. Should be a great night. Nice little fall evening. Hopefully stick to fall and not winter.
Oh, God, man. Shout out to my boy Sammy and the Ridge. Yeah, it's going to be like 70-ish on Friday. It's going to be a really nice day. We're doing a tailgate for our Machi kids on Saturday. It's going to be beautiful there. Boy, when I saw that weather break, I thought about you guys. I thought, God, man, I hope they're not out there playing in 35-degree temperatures. So we missed that by a couple days. Joe, this is an opportunity for your kids. Obviously, you got dealt the blow you and I were talking about when you lose O'Rourke, who scored the 2 goals against North Carolina. Assess for me where you guys are as you head into the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been so consistent all year, and that's a credit to our players and our staff. Like the performances we put together, we've been who we are, right? As Tennessee soccer, with the ball, against the ball, and I think as we got into the more towards the end of the year, you had teams sitting deeper, making it even more difficult for us. And I think anytime you have a team or you play against a team that's going to put a lot of numbers behind the ball, we're dealing with teams that are well coached, well organized, and it's challenging. And I think what's exciting for us against playing Carolina is that's not them. So, again, getting back to who we are and having space to attack and space behind the line versus having to break down 8, 9, 10 players within 30 yards of goal. That's hard for any team. Collegiate, pro, international. It's challenging. So we're excited about that. Feel like it's a great matchup. Obviously, they're incredibly talented, but we're pretty talented too, and our players are excited to get after it again.
Joe, from your end, how difficult was that navigating the rest of your schedule? That happened to you guys mid early in the year, because it looked like you were tracking toward a really, really, really special regular season. How difficult is that for you to recalibrate?
Yeah, I mean, and that's part and parcel every season, right? You're going to come up against, it's a long season, but it's also short in the same way, and you're going to come up against some challenges, whether those are injuries, whether that's a series of results, whatever it happens to be. Each year is going to bring some level of adversity within it, and it's on us to overcome that and fight through that. And we've got an incredibly resilient and consistent group, as I mentioned before, and that's a credit to our leadership, how they've gone about, how we approach the season, and the mindset we take each time we step on the training field, as well as the game field, knowing what makes us good, what makes us successful, and remaining certainly consistent with how we approach that and staying true to that and falling back on our standards and how we do things. And they've been really, really good at that.
6 o'clock start. I want to throw the clarion call out right now. For the living Vol fan, thousands and thousands and thousands of people will be getting here this weekend ahead of time, ahead of Saturday's football game. And it's a great opportunity for you to go over, if you've never given a women's college soccer a shot, it's a great opportunity for you to see something really high level on Friday night, and the investment is negligible. $15 for adult tickets. This is an NCAA event. Generally, Joe and those folks open the gates and they get several thousand people in there. So with North Carolina, and here's what you're going to be seeing, North Carolina is a brand in that sport. They are a defending national champion. They've won 23 national championships in women's soccer. They're like I don't even know what you would compare that to in your sport, Joe. They are.
They're the dynasty in this sport. There's no question. What they've done over time has been tremendous. And honestly, it's two teams that were ranked number one in the country this year, matching up in the first round, and that's that's never happened before. And it's a game that ideally I don't think anyone expected to play in the first round, but you got to play it. You got to play them all in the tournament. So let's do it. But from a quality of a first round matchup, I don't know if there's a better one in the country than the one here at Regal Stadium Friday night.
You guys have played 9 games against 8 other teams who have made the NCAA tournament. You're 5-3-1 in those games, including a win with UCLA at UCLA as part of the non-conference schedule back in August. And UCLA made the tournament. Memphis in your regional, a 7 seed. Talk to me here in terms of just how that's prepared you for what's ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we've been, very intentional with how we've scheduled, and we've talked about that all year, making sure from even the spring and who we played in the spring, but our non-conference, making sure that our team was ready for November and ready for the postseason, because it's just what we do each and every time we step on the field. And we remain consistent in that, in our approach and our opponent, and also their ability to test us and push us in different ways so we can continue to grow and evolve and get better as the year goes along. We don't want to wait for conference to do that. We want to do that all year long. And, as I alluded to, our team's been incredibly resilient. They continue to grow and adjust while still being true to our identity. And so they're experienced, they're prepared, they're ready, and because of what they've done all year. And that's exciting. It's exciting to go into the postseason like that, knowing that this isn't anything new. This isn't something that we've got to, change who we are. Our team has had the success and earned it because of their preparation, because of their performances, and really, really proud of our group for that. And they play a really great brand of soccer as well. I mean, what they do with the ball and how we play, the pressure we put on teams.
Yeah.
I think we do all of it at a really high level, and proud of our group. They've been tremendous. So come out and see them. They're fun to watch. They're fun to cheer for, and it's fun to win here at Regal.
My friends over at FC Alliance program have kids all over the place playing. I know you've got some of their kids on your team as well. But I look down, Joe, and I see that 5 teams in the state, five colleges have made this national tournament. Soccer pretty good in the state of Tennessee, huh?
I mean, not bad. Not bad for what I wouldn't call traditional soccer country. But
yeah, that's pretty strong.
But we're trying to change the narrative with that. But no, I mean, we've got some great coaching staff, obviously a lot of talent in this state, and thinking about it, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't even think about that, but you're spot on with it. And even what they're doing at ETSU, they've had a really good year, and unfortunate not to get through. But no, that's pretty surprising in a really great way when you put it in those terms. So that's pretty awesome.
Another thing that's kind of surprising to me is that the ACC and SEC both have 9. The Big 12 and Big 10 both have 8 in. And it just kind of goes to show you that the big girls are being the big girls in that deal, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's been trending towards that the last couple of years, and certainly evident with how the committee added teams, and especially with those at-large bids. I think the strength in the Power 4 conferences is different, which goes back to us trying to play as many of those teams as we can in the non-conference side of it. But it's certainly there's a little bit of a gap that's separating, and certainly the ACC has been historically a soccer powerhouse. I think we as a league in the SEC are right now nipping at their heels, and what the Big 10 has now become, or Big 20, whatever they are. They've added some some great programs across all sports, but certainly soccer-wise with bringing UCLA into the fold, USC, the ACC bringing in Stanford and Cal. Like those are really big-time soccer programs. So the Power Four are getting better and better, and no surprise on it. But it's the gap's there. So we'll see how it pans out in the first round with a lot of these kind of Power Four, and then kind of mid-major conference champ breakdown. See how those go.
Lady Vols kick off their NCAA tournament play Friday night, 6 o'clock Eastern, for those of you coming in. And, Joe, I want to give you the opportunity here to take a moment to invite the fan and tell them what they're going to see when they come out and see you guys and taking on that illustrious history of North Carolina. You did not kiss the ring early in the year when you slapped them down 2-0 and took the belt from them. But share with the living listener what they're going to see.
No, I mean, we're who we are. We're going to have the ball. We're going to put them under pressure with the ball defensively. We're going to get after it. I mean, it's a physical game. I think anybody that can come out, you can sit on the hill next to the field. You can sit in the stand. You can get close to it. You can be far away if you want to see the tactical view and the movements and some of the shapes and how we adjust and the angles and all that. But it's exciting. It's fast. It's competitive. It's hard. And it's two of the best programs in the country. You want to come out and see what college soccer is like. There's no better place to do it this week than at Regal. And I've said it earlier, said it all year. Like our players feed off of our fans. Like they do. There's another level to them when we're home. The energy that our fans bring to the field is tangible, and we need it. We need it against everybody, but we need it Friday night. And it's been a remarkable season all year with the support we've had, and no different than Vol Nation supporting everybody here. But we need it Friday night. Come out and see us. It's worth a watch for sure, and we need it. But we're ready. Come join us. Come be a part of it.
Joe Kirt, you're the man. Fight on, Lady Vols, and I appreciate your time, brother. I hope you have a great one, and good luck on Friday.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and hope to see you Friday night at Regal.
You're the man. Thank you. The great Joe Kirt one more time. It's unbelievable, Andy. And if you haven't been, it's a great product. Shout out Sammy in the Ridge, who sweats the Lady Vols at our audience unlike any other. But shout out to the Ridge Runner. We haven't heard from the Ridge Runner in a while. Watson Brown going to join us coming up, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats in about 30. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you about what Sean Sinclair said. And what did Sean Sinclair say? Sean Sinclair wants to know if you've kind of lost your stinger for this year. I'm not afraid to ask you that. You know, I'm in this business. I'm in the business of some would say hype. Yeah, people got to stay interested. That's how we eat. Helps people stay interested. I'm also in the business of truth. And I got a great email from a guy yesterday. Heard me say something about the human condition, and he mentioned a Todd Snyder song that he has out that I wanted to check out yesterday and got kind of tied up. Anyway, he said, I like your show, Tony, because it's like a mix between silly and serious, serious and silly, and it's sort of all over the place. And yeah, okay, I'll drink to that. Sean Sinclair, repeat what you said, and I want to ask the listener if they're here. If you can conjure it up.
Well, I mentioned that walking out of that Oklahoma game, having a week just kind of get away from the football, because I did watch the Indiana and Penn State game.
Yep.
Because of my I don't know. I don't want to be all affinity for you,
but I'm not
your
a Penn
clan
State.
back there. I want you guys to. I wanted them to win.
Yeah. But I'm not a Penn State fan.
Just some good stuff, and
just for the record, go ahead.
But anyway, it's I felt a malaise, and I've not every patient that's come by, but I felt that with the fans that have come through my office. Just a malaise, and this was in response to Eli Drinkafith talking about how he was softly scolding the fan environment about how we got to get out of this playoff or bust, and how, it's every time we turn around, it's reach back into your pocket. And I'll be quite frank with you, I no longer give to the volunteer club or whatever it was, the Spire group that I did previously. So I'm not funding any of this. I get it if you want to sling your arrows. But it is. I have a malaise, and I wonder about everybody else. Once you get that third loss, I mean, yeah, sure. Do I want to beat Florida? Yeah. Do I want to stick at the Vandy? Sure. But I mean, those don't look like trophies you're going to put up on the wall anytime soon. I assume this team's going to go to Florida and win that game, albeit the history that is around our neck like a massive yoke. And then the Vandy thing, I'm arrogant enough to just, as a Tennessee fan, say I don't care if Bart Starr's walking through that. I don't care. We beat Vandy. That's the way that is. And if you don't beat Vandy, you got to answer for that. I'm not saying firing, but you got to answer for that. So you suggested a barometer for fans of what they're thinking right now, and I'd like to hear from them.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty amazing. Pretty interesting.
Well, where are you?
Again, my expectation, and I'd like to hear from the living listener at 865-200-5402 and kick us around for 20, because here's the thing. I'm getting off today after 2 hours because I'm doing the Garza Law basketball overtime tonight. There's only so much of me to go around, so I'm going to get out in the sunshine because it's been freezing here. So I'm going to take my guitar and go get a walk and clear my head and all those things. I don't want to bore you. But if you want to get in, 865-200-5402, now's a good time to do it. Do you find yourself, like Sean, feeling unplugged after the Vols have gotten unplugged from the playoff? I was invited on an Alabama radio show last night. I didn't see the message till early this morning. Shame on me, but I'm going to reply here in a second. And they said, hey, would you like to come on and talk about the pairings that were dropped on Tuesday? Let me share something with you. I don't even know what the pairings are. I didn't look at it. Or Bride, they dropped the pairings Monday night. When they drop the pairings? Tuesday or Monday? I don't even know.
They always do on Tuesday nights.
I have no idea. Why? Doesn't apply to me. And I love college football. But when you're not in it and you're not involved in it, it's not going to matter till the final week, right? When you are in it, you have to watch it each week. Like if I'm doing this show in a Vanderbilt market, I'm going, okay, now, because Vanderbilt's having a discussion right now. Here's what Vanderbilt has to be scared of. If Oklahoma or Texas particularly goes 9-3, they could jump Vanderbilt at 10-2. Vanderbilt could get left at home. Could happen. Only so many spots to go around. But I say all that to say none of that applies to us. So it's not real to me. It's not real to me. And Sean's right. Danny White's now saying that Tennessee's waiting list is 27,000 season ticket holders, and they're actively exploring expanding Neyland Stadium's north end zone. He needs to hang out with his coaches and quit building buildings. No offense. I mean, what are we doing? And they don't have a 27,000 seat waiting list. That's the silliest thing in the world. Nobody has a 27,000 seat waiting list in sports right now. Nobody. As in nobody. And it isn't like we're throwing this is North Carolina, or I'm sorry, this isn't Alabama with Nick Saban and you've won 4 national championships in a row. No offense to Danny White, but I call poo-poo on that. I don't believe that for 5 seconds. And I'm not trying to pick at the guy publicly, but that's just ridiculously insulting to my alleged intelligence. And I do mean my intelligence are alleged. Because Joe Kirt said he said, whatever that big thing has, they got 20 teams in it. I thought our conference had 18 teams the other day. So a mind's a terrible thing to waste. But Sean, you're right. They've set up a system here where the plug feels like it's pulled. I love college football, though. But from the perspective of the playoff, which I was greatly engrossed in last year, and the year that Tennessee was number 1 going to Georgia, we did a special show that night. That doesn't even cross my mind now, like the national playoff, because we're not a part of it. Brian, how about you? And then we'll go to the phones. Where are you, Brian, on that?
Well, I think it's extremely interesting how a playoff, even when you're not involved in it, it's like the NCAA tournament in basketball. I still am intrigued whether my team's in it or not. Yep. I still am intrigued with the college football playoff committee and what they do, even though Tennessee's not involved. But that does take an extra layer of interest out, but the interest is still there.
Oh, I love the sport. But to Sean's point, it really did feel like the start just come out of this thing after the Oklahoma game. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's that. Maybe Matt Dixon's right. Maybe it's a playoff or bust deal. I hope it's not that. Because I hear that they're going to stay at 12 for a while, which I want them to stay at 12 for forever. I want to create tension. I want it to be an accomplishment when you make the playoffs. The NFL's at another tier, Bri. The NFL, it's not an accomplishment to make the NFL playoffs now. It just means you're towards the top middle when you make the playoffs now, right?
It is for some. It is for some, though.
Well, okay. I mean, I follow a gold standard organization. It's not an accomplishment in baseball right now to make the playoffs. I mean, you got that extra tier.
Thing, I don't like. I don't like expanded baseball. I don't like that extra layer.
No, make it. I like this 12-team thing. It creates. Vanderbilt might get left at home at 10-2. That might happen. That could happen. Sean's right. Tennessee doesn't lose to Vanderbilt. No, I can't say that out loud, Sean, because Matt will come after me. But you shouldn't lose that game. My position statement right now is Tennessee better not be losing to that stupid Florida team. Because that stupid Florida team, as Sean Adams said yesterday, in his 50-plus years of watching college SEC football, being around it, covering it, he said that's the biggest checkout job he's ever seen, what they did on Saturday night. That's an affront to sports. Sean, they're investigating a whole bunch of stuff around all these sports right now with the gambling problem and the point shaving and the this and the that and the first pitch, and now you can only bet $200 on the first pitch and the Brad Bohannon thing. I mean, there have been so many betting scandals that, it used to be there was just one or two. Now there's they're flying at you. It's crazy. And what I wonder, Sean, is night in and night out. And I would love to talk with a Will Warren about this because he really tracks these numbers. The thing that really concerns me, Sean, is the amount of college basketball games played on a nightly basis and how manipulatable college basketball is.
Well, did anybody think that you would have a different outcome when you start giving 18 to 20-year-old kids hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're competitive, and you can make any of these transactions? I think I'm not in that world, so if I say something stupid along with 100 other things today stupid, but nonetheless about gambling, I assume you can do this on an app on your phone.
Oh yeah.
Make bets. I don't want to sound
you can bet on first pitch
guy. But anyway, you give these young kids hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you allow them to do that on a phone. And by the way, and I appreciate guys like C and Mr. C and all these other Will and all these other guys, but the best of the best gamblers aren't winning the majority of their games. And then you get a bunch of kids who don't know anything, and someone thought that they wouldn't get upside down and then try to make things right. That's the easiest predictability. You don't have to be Nostradamus to predict that thing going on.
Here's the other thing about the gambling deal, Sean, and you're right. It's easy money, though, now. Like Anthony was telling me yesterday in golf, and he's a golf freak, okay? Listens to all the golf podcasts. They have a discussion. All I've got to do is miss a fairway. I'm playing a tournament out here. You can bet on whether or not my ball goes in the fairway or in the rough on any tee shot. And I can make an extra $400 or $500 for a friend of mine just by hitting the ball slightly into the rough. Now, this Class A guy bounced the ball on purpose against the Dodgers in a game. And Pages swung at it because he's got Nick Castellanos, a.k.a. the Castilla. He's got his pitch recognition. So he's swinging at a ball bouncing up at the plate. And they got him dead to rights on a text saying, I can't believe that fool swung at it. I'm sorry. Excuse me? This is where we are. But here's the thing about college kids. I remember having a guy, Todd Sandstedt was his name. I still remember this. Local FBI guy. I don't know if Todd's still out there. Todd, if you're out there, Yoshi Ho-Ho. He's 25, 30 years ago. Tennessee had him come speak. This is in the mid-'90s. This is before any of this is legal. To their team about how one of the strategies for gamblers, for the underworld back then, was to get these college kids betting on games. Because if I can get you betting, then I can get you what they call jammed up. If I can get you jammed up, that means you owe me a bunch of money. That's when the fun begins for me. Because if you bet enough and you're not somebody that really follows them, like my guy C's pretty sharp now. But if you make a couple stupid plays or get out over your skis, and then you have the agony of defeat, all of a sudden you're in a world of hurt. And Todd said that's what these guys do. And it was a concern 25 years. It was such a concern that they were speaking to the Tennessee. This is the late 90s. They're speaking to the Tennessee sports teams. So we'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. 865-200-5402. One conspiracy theory, I believe, and I used to be very, very into conspiracy theories. I'm not so much anymore because what I've come to think about conspiracy theories are that it's a world that we live in that's kind of an evil world where terrible things happen to really good people. We're never going to understand that this side of eternity. But we all want simple explanations for things, and conspiracy theories give us those. But one I do follow. Michael Jordan, when he disappeared from basketball, was heavily into some gambling. And I believe that Michael Jordan's the guy they made go away for a couple years. And I'm going to tell you something else. People aren't going to like me saying this. I think baseball covered up what Ohtani was doing. There's no way in the world $30 million of your own money goes missing or whatever that figure was, and you don't notice it. I'm sorry. Billionaires would notice, and he's not a billionaire, would notice $30 million disappearing out of their account. I'm sorry. I wasn't born yesterday. But baseball needs the intergalactic Babe Ruth. That's what this guy is. He's the intergalactic Babe Ruth. And they ain't going to get in the way of that. So let's go to the phones. We have a lot to talk about today. Very little time to get there. Cinco thinks the plug has been pulled. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How's it going?
Oh, my gosh. The Columbo Kid.
I mean, I'm checked out. I'm not sure I'll watch another snap. To see if they'll go play Illinois and Orlando. Like, well, how is that interesting to me? Unless you tell me you're going to play McIntyre, so I can see what he looks like.
Which I'm going to talk with Watson Brown about that in our next segment. I've already warned Watson that J-Mac. Cinco, what do you do with J-Mac this weekend? I play him at least a half, and I'm not so sure I don't play him at Florida and at Vandy a little bit just to get him some seat time. We got to get ready for next year, Sean.
Yeah, I do that. You know, you get a lot of talk that, and it's no secret. Merklinger probably will move on.
Yes.
Either because that's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think so. But also, I don't know if Mark had said this before, but it's, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Sorry, but you still have, even though I just said I'm plugged out a bit. You still got Aguilar, you still got awards, you still want to put your. I wouldn't throw in the towel. If you're up big, I'm playing those guys. But I don't know that I'm really giving real meaningful snaps to McIntyre right now.
Oh, I don't think. I think Heupel needs to put his best foot forward here.
Yep.
Because if he somehow goes 9-3 and wins some meaningless Florida bowl game to go 10-3. After what happened in the spring, I think most people will be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably in the minority, unless you're in the playoff, I just don't care. And don't blame me for that. Blame college football for that.
I care about the Vols immensely because I think it's an interesting thing to watch here locally, how they're going to finish, Mark, to your point. But I will say this. I found myself not wanting to look at all. I don't even know who's in the playoff, where the rankings are right now. I haven't even looked. And that might be a very irresponsible thing for me to mention on the air, but I don't know that I'm alone in that.
We're not in it. I mean,
we're not
it'd
in
be
it.
different if we were 8-1 right now.
Yep. And if that field goal would have been gone through, if that field goal would have gone through like it should have, if you just execute that one kick, we're sitting here right now highly interested in it going, can a 10-2 team get left at home? That's what we'd be asking ourselves right now.
Or if we beat a John Mateer in our home in Neyland Stadium.
You are right on the money, bro. You're right on the money.
They've and I'm the old man yelling at clouds as far as just how the whole structure of the sport's changed.
Yeah.
I'm already kind of checked out on it halfway. And now that Tennessee's not any kind of contender this year, and they're not making the playoff. Anybody that tries to do all this crazy math,
no, they're not making the playoff.
9-3, stop.
No, it's not possible.
Please, just stop. You're killing yourself.
Hey, he's doing it again, Bri. Say it. Say we're dead. Say we're dead.
We're dead. The team's dead. Season's dead. It's over.
We're going to do a 3 count. I want you both to go, we're dead. I want you guys to both do it. Brian, do it in your best Mark voice, and you do it. Ready? 3, 2. Brian, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, and you're going to do it. How many years have we been doing this, Brian? Ready? Go to your Titans, Bill. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
We're dead.
We're dead.
That's good, Brian. Right? Try this again. 3, 2, 1.
We're dead.
It's dead. We're dead. Come on.
Tony, is Faison Brandon going to be the starting quarterback next year or what?
Sean, who you guys are starting quarterback next year? Interesting question. Do they roll a true freshman out there, Sean, against that schedule?
I wouldn't think so. If I remember right, he's hurt all year. He hasn't played much his senior year.
Oh, boy.
Coming in, I'm not here to be a flamethrower, but I still think just like Bryce Underwood, I think they still think there's a possibility some billionaire throws or starts trying to find a quarterback other places. I still think he's going to have to tell some people no.
Oh, I think that's absolutely the reality with all these kids. No question. Till December 20 rolls around.
So you see Kelly still in LSU? They're dumb, Kelly. Man. How if you're a coach, why would you go there? Knowing that if you don't do well, they're not going to pay you. They're going to try to weasel their way out of the buyout they signed.
And John Adams tried to undercut me saying that yesterday. Let me tell you something. In that industry, now I don't blame them for trying to claw some money back from him or, here's an idea. Don't agree to that on the front end. Pay more in salary if that's what you're going to do.
When you do,
quit
you
doing
pay
it. You have to pay it. You're right.
And I know it's apples and bowling balls here.
Yep.
But I've always wondered with how we did Pruitt.
Yep.
Is that going to come back and bite us at some point when we go looking for a coach? Not saying it will. I know it's not the same situation.
No.
Just look, Tennessee. They did everything they could not to pay the buyout.
What Tennessee did Tennessee did with that guy, because that guy was a damn fool, being led by some fools, and it was.
Oh, I get it. I tell it, it's not the same comp, but they're trying to invoke some. Some morality clause and show cause or for cause in Kelly's contract, and Kelly just said, "We'll put it out there. Give him my money." I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
And this talk that they're going to try to hire, it's going to cost them $15 million a year to hire Lane Kiffin. LSU don't have that money. I don't care what John Adams says. They don't have it. That's why they lost Bryce Underwood.
If Kiffin goes,
that's why they lost the Stewart kid to USC.
If Kiffin goes
they don't
anywhere,
have that kind of dough.
If Kiffin goes anywhere, he goes to Florida. And you and I both know that.
Yeah, I still don't think he goes. I'm not as far to the no way he's going as I was before. I don't think he's taken him. It took him 8 years to get back in the big time. It took him longer than that to totally repair his reputation.
Yep.
And I don't think he ruins it by doing that move.
Thank you, Lumbo. What it sets up on your TLD Logistics hotline, and I'm going to ask Watson about this on the other side, presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats. What it sets up is, and Sean, you tell me this. You're at Ole Miss. He comes to you and says, I'm taking the Florida job. Do you let him coach in the playoffs, Sean? Because I'm at Ole Miss. I've never, ever in the modern era had a breath like this, like Ole Miss has. I've never, ever gotten a bite at the apple. I've never, ever mattered. I've never, ever been on top. I've seen Mississippi State be number one in America. I've never even gone to the SEC championship game. I'm the only team in the West that hasn't done it. I haven't mattered since Archie Who was playing football. I mean, what the hell? What are you going to do, Sean? You going to tell him goodbye? What are you going to do?
I'll tell you a couple things. A different precedent was set last year when Ryan Day told, I believe I have this right, he told players that, hey, if you're transferring, that's great. We want you to still be part of the team, win a championship, and then we'll help you out the door, whatever you want. If I'm Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin's still my psycho, because Lane Kiffin's all about Lane Kiffin, and if he goes into that, he's going to want to win. And he does not like losing. It's not for Ole Miss losing. It's for Lane Kiffin losing. And so I'm going to buck the trend and park my ego in the back. And I'm going to say, yeah, if Lane Kiffin is going to go to Florida or somewhere else and I'm in the playoffs, I want that guy being my head coach until we're out of the playoffs.
Here's what I hear, and this is what the talk is in the industry. I've written a couple times in the on the blog. Lane Kiffin remains a dear friend of Ogeron, who was on this staff. You remember Kiffin's first staff here. It's great coaching staff. You look at it. Lane Kiffin, the thought is that he will send Ogeron ahead of him. Ogeron will set up shop in Florida. He'll handle the day-to-day till Lane gets there. If he takes the job, if that's what ends up happening, it's going to be. Well, let's see. What is it's mid-November right now. The next 5 weeks in college football, the next 8 weeks are going to be utterly insane. Because one thing Cinco can say is you can unplug on the season. The off season's going to be. It's going to be. I don't think we've ever seen anything like the next 7 or 8 weeks. Because now you have this compressed transfer window. You've got all this movement. You've got all this tampering. You've got all these jobs open. You've got all these hirings and firings. You're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of kids in the portal. And if you're a Tennessee, you have a decision to make with your quarterbacks. Do I go get a veteran guy? Because that's going to be a possibility. And then how many defensive players do I sign? And then the guy that met the press yesterday, who literally, no offense to him, but ain't splitting an atom anytime soon. It's hour number 2 on the radio. So we continue with more. I don't think I'm on Danny White's waiting list, but there's another list I think I'm on to that press conference a couple weeks ago. We continue with more on the other side. By the way, we're live at Calhoun's on the River on Friday. Be Freddie Miller. Be there. As we continue with more after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Guffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Guffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Guffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Guffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Guffon.com. That's Guffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Guffon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Brr! It's getting cold outside. Is your heating system ready for winter? Don't wait to find out. Pipe Wrench's $79 heating system tune-up ensures your HVAC is ready for those cold nights so your home stays warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your HVAC system for maximum efficiency and comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. Call or schedule your $79 heating system tune-up online today at pipewrench.com. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit pipewrench.com for details.
Basilio here with Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Alan, is it true? Are we really having a Black Friday sale? Lay it on me.
Yeah, Tony, Black Friday is the biggest time of the year for us. We're going to do a 40% off sale. That's what we're doing to everybody else. But for the Tony Basilio listeners, we're going to do 45% off. So you get an additional 5% off, which should be hundreds of dollars. All you got to do is use the promo code TONY. But for the real listeners, we're going to do another promo code. The second promo code is going to be promo code NEGADAVE. So with the promo code NEGADAVE, you actually pay 5% more. So 35% off using promo code NEGADAVE, 45% off using promo code TONY.
We're kind of having some fun here, but when you're talking about 120 Supercore floors, I've shown them over on the website, the video. You can't destroy this floor.
Very tough floor that I designed. When I say literally millions of square feet, we've got 2 warehouses in Johnson City full of flooring. We're ready to go for any size project. But yeah, it's a remarkable product. It's the best waterproof flooring on the market because we sold everyone else's floors and I designed the floor that's better than everyone else.
WeShipFloors.com. Free shipping to all, anywhere in the country.
Go Vols, Tony.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Shout out to the great Sam Mercosi, who could be one of the great simpletons of all time and a devotee of this program, which I think you can do both. But Sam, how do I put this to you? He, yesterday, took WeShipFloors.com up on their offer. And Sam yesterday paid an extra 10% to use the promo code NEGADAVE. and that might be the
That's awesome.
That might be the greatest thing ever. Love me some NEGADAVE. Love me some NEGADAVE. Alan Ward in there says about the season tickets and the kids' tickets, says that my kid got 1 football ticket last year as a freshman. When I was a kid, I went to every game. That was never a thing because they accommodated us. Now we've forgotten why. It's almost like now we're in an era where we feel like, I'm just going to say this out loud and then we're going to bring the great Watson Brown in, presented by Simpsons Meats. We actually feel like the university's lucky it exists because it's there for football. That's not the case. That's never was supposed to be the case with these modern athletic directors. That's how they think. Every student that wants to go to a sporting event should be accommodated over there for football. That's the way this ought to work. And then you sell season tickets. That's the way it ought to work. That's the way it ought to work. Sorry. Hate to say that out loud. I know that sounds revolutionary. Actually, no, that's you're in a land-grant university. But let's bring the great Watson Brown in. I'll get off my soapbox. Watson, I'm fired up, focused, and prepared today to spend some time with you. I got up this morning, and I had two thoughts. My two thoughts are, God is great, and I'm going to spend some time with Watson Brown today.
Oh.
Huh? Huh?
That's pretty high cotton there now.
Well, I hold you.
That's pretty high cotton. That's some major blowing smoke. Yes.
I don't think I'm blowing smoke at all. I think I love you, man. And
I love you too, Tony. I love being on with y'all. It's always an honor, and I say that and I mean it. It's not just words.
Sean Sinclair, during one of our post-production meetings here that we've had, our pre-production meeting for this piece, break out, Cinco, on Coach, what the chatter is in the industry, because I want to get Watson's thoughts on this.
Coach, love having you on every Wednesday. I'm just glad it's my day when it's your day. But they said they are saying that Arkansas is going to talk to Dabo Swinney, give him a Coach Calipari type deal for him to leave South Carolina and head on west. What do you think about that?
It sounds far-fetched, but those are the kind of things, Sean, that end up happening sometimes. I said to Tony just a minute ago when he mentioned this to me, I think there's a point you can stay at a place so long that it kind of gets both ends of the stick. I think people get tired of you a little bit, and then I think you get a little complacent and tired yourself, and you need a new challenge, if you want to call it that. So all of that makes sense to me. There'd be a third thing involved in that, in my opinion, that would tell me that Dabo's 100% changed his mind on the way to go about this now, and start paying the guys and hitting the transfer portal hard and all of the things that everybody's pretty much having to do. It's not really a decision anymore, and I don't think there's any way Arkansas would bring him in if he hadn't totally changed his thought process on the way to win games.
Don't Arkansas and Clemson have another coaching connection in common?
Danny Ford.
Is that right?
It was Danny Ford and Hatfield.
Yeah, Danny was there.
Yeah.
Danny was there with, and when was that when he got let go guys, and my good friend Joe Kynes was the defensive coordinator. Joe and I worked together.
That's exactly
right.
Yep.
I think he got the interim from that. Is that right, or am I off my rocker?
No, you're exactly right. Joe Kynes followed him.
Yeah, but Danny went there. Yes, sir.
Here's the thing.
If you remember, part of the reason Danny Ford left Arkansas was playing Tennessee, and he got caught on a hot mic on the sideline telling his team to take out Heath Schuler's knee.
What's a bounty here or there? It's a little old school football. Buddy Ryan, little bounties. Which, by the way, down through the years, the whole bounty thing has gone on for the living listener listening to us. Watson, you ever put a bounty? I'm just kidding you.
Me? Put a bounty on somebody? Absolutely not. No.
How about this?
I think I've had bounties on me before. As a player, I know I've had bounties on me. I caught it honestly and know that it was true. And it happened more than once.
When was it, Watson? Give me an example of that. That's interesting.
No, I'm not going to give names, but I can tell you it happened. And it was so funny that you're talking Vanderbilt, Tennessee, coming up here in a couple of 3 weeks, and I'm playing my sophomore year, and I'm returning punts, I'm returning kickoffs. Doug Matthews and I, who were road roommates all the time and good friends, and of course Doug coached there for many years and was my defensive coordinator my last year at Vanderbilt. But he and I both were the returners, and I'm the starting quarterback, and we're catching grief. I mean, poor head coach, Coach Pace, is getting it. I've returned a punt for a touchdown against Kentucky, so it backed off a little, but but they're giving him grief because I'm the quarterback and returning punts. And we go to Knoxville. The game's close. We're really a pretty good team, and Tennessee was very good. And the game's close, and I'm returning a punt and get knocked out on the punt. And, of course, that pretty much ended it for the day. But it's amazing how things lead back to other things as time goes. But, no, there were bounties on me for sure.
Ain't nothing doing to the sun, brother. Little Ecclesiastes for you.
Nobody ever be able to prove that unless you, like Brian just said, you catch it on the mic, or Sean said, don't waste one, but
yeah.
You catch it on a mic or something, it's a hard thing to prove, man.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
There'll be hands going up everywhere saying, no, we never did that.
Hey, I'll tell you this, Watson. It's a hard thing to walk back to when they catch you on the
hard.
Yeah, you can walk a lot of things back, but trying to injure a college kid is, saying, hey,
not good,
break his leg.
And I don't know that they do
it
to that extent.
Yeah, he didn't mean it. Right.
I think a lot of it now is, Tony, they say, boy, we need this one out of the game.
Yeah.
They're a complete different team if he's not out there. That's kind of the way it's said. I don't think they say go for his knee or do this or do that. But
hey, my dad,
in the old days now, I do think that did happen.
You'll like this, Watson. My dad died in his early 90s, right? So he was a World War II guy. And they used to play sandlot ball, sandlot football, and this, that, and the other. And around our town and this, that, and he was out there with all the little Italian guys running around. They would hit each other and, play ball. And whenever we watch games and somebody on defense would help somebody on offense up after tackling them, it would run all over him. He'd be like, why are you helping that guy? Don't help that guy up. Those old school people, that was just a different deal back then, Watson, wasn't it?
It was totally different, and you don't see it much today. It was why the other day watching Texas Tech and BYU play, I don't know if you noticed, but BYU would help every Texas Tech player up.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that in a long, long time.
The Great Watson Brown is presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, because we're getting ready to get to the meat of the topic. When Conzo made his omelet, as he said, and here's the meat of the topic: a beef brand built on quality. Here's the meat of the topic. Since 1888 on the great Jim Simpson's farm. Raising and sourcing. Meat on farms, pasture on purpose. You're going to taste the difference. Whether it's the steaks or the burgers or the sausages or the roast or the chicken. Variety of local offerings as well at their butcher shop. From milk to honey to jams to eggs and more. The best of our Tennessee community. If you're somebody that likes bulk, and you have a large thing you want to accommodate, or you have a large freezer space, they sell half or quarter cows. And with the holidays here, great gift boxes are available. Watson's about to get another one in the mail. Ship premium meats anywhere at simpsonsmeats.com. And Watson, I would imagine that the gift boxes keep pretty well. I would imagine yours kept pretty well.
It didn't last long. I'm telling you. And if you don't get me one pretty quick, you're going to have a wife mad at you. But you're going to have a lady named Brenda going to be after you're hot.
Let's go,
What do I always
Bruce?
say, Tony? Yeah. What do I always say about Simpson's Meat? If you go once and eat a piece of their whatever, I don't care what it is, you going back. You will go back a second time. That's what I say, and I'm telling you it's true.
So, Watson, this week, Tennessee's got one of these weird kind of bye games in the middle of the schedule or towards the latter part of the schedule. But it's an opportunity to play some kids that you've practiced all year. In a perfect world, and George McIntyre is the quarterback of the future. It's not the other kid, the Merklinger guy that they paid some money to in the offseason. He didn't perform, and the sense around the program is that he's going to jump into the portal as soon as the year ends. He's the insurance policy for this year, but he's going to jump into the portal and go do his thing, which is something we see in the sport. So, G-Max, the man on the spot. Watson, from your perspective, how long or how much would you play McIntyre in a perfect world this week against New Mexico State?
Well, just knowing Josh, and I don't know him personally, but knowing him as a coach and watching him week in and week out and how he handles himself and his team, the only way I think McIntyre goes out first is if the other young man has already told him he's leaving. I just think they'll put the other one out there first and then McIntyre, and hopefully they'll get ahead to where they can play both of them. But you'll know a little bit more about who goes out there first, in my opinion. But if the other young man has been the backup all year, I can't see Josh doing that. I just don't think he would. But I'd want to see both of them, but I'd sure want to see McIntyre because, I mean, he is the future either way, in my opinion. And it'd be interesting to see him now and then to see him again come next fall and see how much he's gotten better.
Yeah, so, I mean, because Tennessee's in a spot where you've got a true freshman quarterback coming in, and you've got a redshirt freshman quarterback. You have to get him seat time, don't you, between now and then?
Absolutely. And that's why it's so different now. You bring in another one the next year, and they'd sit their time and get better, and now that's not the case anymore. They're not going to stay. They're just not going to stay. If it's not them next, then they're going somewhere else. So you've got to find out quickly who it's going to be, and then when you pick, you better pick right, because if you let one go that wasn't the best of the two, and it's not that you're trying to get rid of them, they're going to leave. They're just not going to hang around. And that's why the Ty Simpson thing to me is, I've been pulling for him. Now, of course, I coached his daddy, so there's a little prejudice there. But at the same time, I was pulling for Ty because it's the old way. Somebody hung around and paid their dues and learned, and now he's the guy. And it's been neat to see, because I don't think we're going to see that a lot of times anymore, and I think it'll get less and less as each year goes by.
He hung around through 2 coaching staffs, too. He didn't just hang around.
Yep.
That does not happen.
No, not much.
Day.
You're not going to.
No. So, just to put a bow on this, GMAC plays how much Saturday in your world?
Depends on the lead. If they're good, I'm going to say 1.5. By halftime, if they're where they need to be, the other one would probably play. Mark will play half a quarter, and then maybe McIntyre finish it up. That's what I would say, something like that.
But Sean, are you obligated to play Merklinger at this point, Cinco? What do you think?
I don't think you are. But I don't know. That's a tough. Again, neither one of them sees the field for me unless the game's a rout. But no, I don't think you're an under obligated. You know, Coach Brown said something earlier in the year, and it's really stuck with me, and it's meant even more lately. And he was talked about how there's no such thing as football programs anymore. And I'm paraphrasing. Every team is different year after year, and I think you really have to just assume that every kid is going to leave, and if they don't, that's great. And so we saw that with Nico. We've seen that with Boo Carter. I just think you have to, put your best foot forward and score as many points as you can, because who knows what's going to happen. I hope I got that phrasing right there, Coach, because that's really stuck with me when you said that earlier in the year.
Yes, I truly believe that, Sean. It's not, you don't just come to play for what's on the side of the helmet anymore, and there are some, but dollars is number one, period. Yeah. It's number one, and I'm not just making that up. I still have a lot of coaching friends in the business. I've talked to not one that doesn't feel the same way. I'm out of it, so I can say whatever. But they're not going to say that if they're sitting in a university and whatever. But yeah, it's just the way it is. And you're dead right. They're sitting in that locker room right now, and later as it gets in the year, what's this kid thinking? What's this kid thinking? You can't be thinking about that, but it's in the back of your mind. As a head coach, you better be thinking about the next opponent and what you're doing. But dadgum, and this transfer portal window hits quick. And you got to be ready to roll in two ways. How many did leave, and who are we going to try to bring in? That's a bunch in a very short period of time. And so it's just a different world. I'm sure I would have adjusted. I wouldn't have wanted to. I would hope and think I'd been smart enough to do that as time goes on. But these coaches just think different now, Sean, and they absolutely don't want to, but they have to. They have to think different than the old way of doing it.
You know, here's a great little something to think about, because this is kind of how it's played out. As one of our viewers over here on YouTube just put in the chat, everybody should be rooting for Simpson for the reasons that Watson describes. Just as Nico's a cautionary tale, Simpson further helps coaches sell players on giving it another year in the program, and Nico becomes the poster boy for leaving in haste and putting yourself in a horrible spot. And that's exactly right, Watson.
Well, and Tony, I'll add to that by saying the coaches, where I see it different than when I was in it. There are so many more bodies in the building now that work for the University of Tennessee than there was when I coached. You have a complete recruiting group of guys and ladies and whatever, and they're the ones that are sitting around and, hey, I'm hearing this about this kid may be leaving, I'm hearing this about this kid may be leaving. So many coaches and analysts are not near into that, but these other guys are, and they're listening and they're trying to figure out, and they're telling Coach Heupel, saying, I got a feeling this, I got a feeling that. And they're also the ones with their eyeballs are going to be in that computer all day long on who's in, who's out, how many at this position, what's here, who can we go after. The coaches don't have to do that as much now, and that's why I don't just defend coaches. I think in a lot of ways their jobs as coaches, assistant coaches, is a lot easier than it used to be because they were the recruiter. They were it. There was such a thing called one recruiting coordinator, and then there were just younger ones working for the recruiting coordinator a little bit. But now there's so many in the department that the coach is not the one that's finding them. He's the one that goes and recruits them finally, but he's not the one that's having to find them. Our assistant coaches had to go find them.
Yep.
And it's just a different world in a lot of ways.
You better
thank goodness that they've been able to keep up with it by having more in the department than we used to have.
The thing you point to, too, Watson, is, and this is an interesting point of distinction, you better have a really good organization if you want to stay in a spot for a while. And the guy, I don't know who does it for the guy at Indiana, because it's not him, okay? But whoever doing it
is him because he's put it all together, but he's not the one doing it.
No, whoever's finding these ball players for him, that's an amazing job that they've done because they don't have the greatest budget in the world. I saw where they've got like 7 4-star players on their team, no 5 stars, and the rest of them are 3-star kids. They sure don't look like that, Watson.
Well, the star thing don't matter as much as it used to because there's so many transfers now, and it's not just the guy coming out of high school anymore. And I know they're trying to rate the transfers. That's a complete different world. A lot of these 3-stars turned into 5 stars. They've been here, and they've gotten better, and they've gotten better. Then all of a sudden they come out, and, man, there's a bunch in line to get them. And yet they were a 3-star coming out of high school. That's happening a bunch. I'm hearing that a whole bunch. How much better certain kids have gotten. And then they can't stay. There's just too much money out there. They got to go. It's just amazing to me. And they also have been good at taking some that are 3-star guys that have just really come on and are good players. But Indiana's done it like just go through the list, fellas. Go through the list of the second half level of teams that have jumped up that are still in that top 20, even in the running to get into the playoffs. What caused that? 100% money. It's given them a shot. It's given them a shot they've never had before. And I knew that was going to happen, and by golly, it has. It's leveled the field And that's why it's been so much fun this year to watch. And there's going to be more. There are more upsets coming. This thing, that list they came out with, the top 12, throw that away. That thing is not anywhere close to what it'll end up being. There's going to be more upsets to go as we go here.
Is Vandy going to lose to this Kentucky team next week? Is that in?
No, they won't lose. They have an open week. Kentucky is not good enough offensively. Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee's not going to lose to Florida. I'm coming out and saying it. Not happening. Florida can't score with them. They don't have a quarterback.
They stink.
And they're disarray. Once the newness of a interim wears off, and you didn't win, now it even gets worse. So I'm just predicting that. I'm not trying to boast anything here, but I'm just telling you, I don't think Kentucky is good enough to beat Vanderbilt, and I don't think that Florida is good enough to beat Tennessee. I think Tennessee and Vanderbilt are going to be playing at the end of the year, and both are going to win out to get to that point.
We're having Coach Wilder on tomorrow from Tech. Are they?
Yeah, tell him I said hi.
I will do that.
Tell him I said hi
officially,
and tell him I'm on with you all the time. He tries to get me to come by practice all the time, and I play golf Tuesday and Thursday. I'm on with you on Wednesday, and he's a morning practice guy, so it's hard to get by to see him, but I'm pulling for him.
The great Riley Patton told me that he and a bunch of his buddies always text and talk whenever you're on here, and they're dialed in listening, and they just love you from the Tennessee Tech days. And people that know you, Watson, that I interface with, I mean, they don't like you, buddy. They love you. That's why I said today when I got up, two thoughts came to my mind. God is great, and I'm on with Watson Brown today. And I meant that.
I look forward to this too.
No, I meant that because you just make it better, man. And he said, him and his buddies sit around and they listen to you, and they love hearing your accent and your excitement and just all that stuff about you. They just said that's who Watson Brown is. Let me ask you something about how crazy the sport is. We were talking right before you got on, and I asked Sean and I asked Brian this, and we have a caller in Columbus named Mark in Columbus, and who's got just an obsession with Lane Kiffin. I think he's got a shrine and maybe a Lane Kiffin blow-up doll somewhere in his house, but that's another story for another day. Here's a question for you. If he decides to take the Florida job, and anything's possible here, but Lane's now in demand, and you're the athletic director at Mississippi, and you've never done anything really in the modern era. You've been waiting for a year like this. You've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And this guy is going to leave for the Florida job, I don't know, because he just decides he wants to go to, Layla, her father, John Reeves, was a star quarterback there. He started his head coaching career, his resurgence at the directional school in Florida, and he wants to go back there. I don't know, whatever the reasons are, but you can't keep him. Do you let him coach in the playoffs, or do you say goodbye to him and end any chance probably that you have of winning in the playoffs? How do you handle that as an AD today? Because they might be the first, Watson, but they won't be the last. This is the new quote-unquote normal, and there's nothing normal about it, Watson.
No, and it's not good. It's not good. And if that's going to happen before they get in the playoffs and it comes out, that's a decision the AD would have to make. I keep him. I mean, I want to win, and I just think him leaving is not going to. There's no way that makes it better. And I would think that Lane would coach his fanny off to do what he could do. First, I'd do everything I could to keep him. I mean, I don't care what money it takes. They've got the perfect fit, and I'd work I'd do everything. I would do everything in the world to keep him. And the way this money is now, Tony, money can take Ole Miss up to the level of Florida, which they haven't been since maybe the Manning years and back in the Vaught years. But it can take them up there now. We all have to change our mindsets on what's on the side of these helmets, because that's not it anymore. It does help. Don't get me wrong. It does. It still does, and there's still pride in what's on the side of that helmet with the universities, the fan base, and all that. But now you can come up and be there. You can get there. And if you keep throwing that money around, you can stay there if you've got a coach that knows how to handle it. And if they were to lose him, they got to go find some personality like that. You go bring in kind of a grabbed football coach, just personality. After you've had Lane Kiffin, it won't work. They've got to go find a personality if they lose. And so there's a lot on the plate there to discuss. If I'm the coach, I'm keeping him. I'll let him coach through the thing. I've probably got a pretty good relationship with him if I'm the AD, and I understand why he's leaving, even though I don't like it. It's the way of the world, and I'd let him coach it out.
And if you were giving advice to Lane Kiffin, you've lived, right? And these young guys come to you and say, because I know you took some time to talk to my man Chris Burke here recently. You're not afraid to listen with people and pour yourself into others. Another thing I love about you. So if he calls you and says, "Hey Watson, I'm at a crossroads here, man," what would you tell him?
Go with your intuition and don't look back. You've got to decide, and most of the time, your first thought is what you need to do. There's a lot that can come into these things, man, that everybody thinks, oh, it's just coaching. Family comes involved. There's so many things. He's got a son that's a junior?
Yeah.
At Oxford High School. That's right. A good player. Does he want to take him out? I told you that last time I was on with you. I did not go to a school and stayed at a place because of one of my children and where they're playing and what their situation was. There's so much more than just Florida. There's so much more you got to discuss and think about, and I don't know. I just think if I'm the AD at Ole Miss and I'm the president at Ole Miss, I do not let this guy get away. He's perfect. He's the perfect guy for this type business now, this NIL and transfer portal. He's perfect. He's a perfect kind of guy. And I just would do everything I could to keep him. And if he don't stay with all I give him, then hug him and let him go, but keep him and win as many games and get us as far in the playoffs as he could possibly get us.
Love you like a brother. Thank you, Watson Brown.
Love you guys. Always an honor.
Thank you, my man.
See ya.
On your TLD Logistics phone lines, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Watson is a beef brand built on quality. Remember, Simpson's Meats, in addition to their steaks, burgers, sausages, roast, and chicken, that stuff is the real deal Holyfield, raised on farms, on pasture, on purpose, not shot up. I mean, this is the real deal Holyfield since 1888 on the great Jim Simpson's farm. And if you want to buy in bulk, they've got quarter and half cows. Great gifts, gift box available. Premium meats anywhere at simpsonsmeats.com. They've got a shop West Knoxville off Level Road. Shout out to the great Sam Bruce and my friends there, because that is phenomenal radio with the great Watson Brown. And he wants his gift box, and he wants it now. And, of course, in true Tony Basilio fashion, Cinco, I've been telling him that it's like on the way, and I forgot to order it for like a month. Sean, thoughts on that? That surprise you?
No, there are hundreds of copper cards floating around in the ether. I don't know what the post office has been doing the past 20 years, but
yeah, man,
they just don't seem to make it to their destinations.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, man. As we take a brief time out and continue with more, get some calls in on the other side. Tons to talk about. Tons and tons. A wildly stimulating day. A mentally stimulating day after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. information. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631. And ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. The Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw Premium Vodka comes in 4 flavors. Woo! Black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
College football is such a great sport because it's a great sport, but it's got the craziest calendar now. And none of this was asked for when the Supreme Court ruled what the Supreme Court ruled a few years ago. That was that. That was a wrap till they can figure out what they're going to do. Now you got a guy like Lane Kiffin. And as Watson Brown said, all these schools are the same now, which is hard for us to believe because we have tremendous tradition. But cash is king. To the phones we go, 865-200-5402. So that's an intriguing thing, right? I don't know how much extra time, overtime I'm going to play today. So if you want to get in now. Because we're doing Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime tonight, and I hope you understand. Plus, we only have so many hours in the day, and I got up early and got a bunch of work done. And then just for the concept of walking in the park, you sort of own your own thing, do your own thing. Those of you that own and do your own thing sort of know what I mean. But if you want to get in hunting in the mix with us, 865-200-5402 is the numero dos. I do want to get Cinco. Cinco's got some thoughts that I do want to share with you if he's back with us. Cinco, are you back?
I think Sean's still away.
All right, let's go to the phones, and we'll get our next call in on our TLD Logistics phone line. Hi, welcome in. You're on our Wednesday edition.
How are my friends, compatriots, doing today?
Hey, Lynn, welcome in, buddy.
Compatriot.
Tony, I really appreciate you having Joe Kirt on, and I want everybody that can go over there and support the Lady Vols, because UNC is kind of like, I guess, Kentucky was 60, 70 years ago. They won a bunch of titles when there was only 5 or 6 teams that cared about it. So that's how they stacked up those national titles. We really need
they
to
won
beat
last
them
year,
again.
so
yeah,
they're
won
still
last
pretty
year,
good.
W. Lynn, yeah, they've been very good for a long, long time. Anson Dorrance was their coach, and Mia Hamm was great, and they had a ton of great players come out of there. A shout out to Pate Fee, who got near Mia Hamm back in the day. He was a Mia Hamm admirer. She's married to Bry Hume.
Mia Hamm?
Nomar Garcia-Parra, I want to believe. Know. Bino's favorite player. He used to play with his batting gloves. But W. Lynn, I love the gals. I'm for them, not against them. And you're the man.
It's a big game, big chance for us.
Yep.
Now, speaking of the college football playoff show, I've watched it and I fast-forwarded a lot. Heather Dinich ought to be the chair of the committee. She makes more sense than anybody.
Really?
That yahoo they send out there to explain everything doesn't really explain anything.
So what do you make of it?
They don't even use strength of schedule anymore when they're talking about teams, because they know, and I'm not a pro SEC, I don't go chanting SEC at a game.
Right.
But they know that would favor the SEC, so they talk about other stuff.
Well...
And...
Yeah, Mac Rhodes is the chair. He's at Baylor University. He's the chairman of the committee. You're not a big Mac Rhodes guy?
No.
Oh.
Because they've not showed us mathematically what they claim they're doing. They don't really show us all that, but they give us the top 25, but what they don't tell you is, in the top 12, it's 6 SEC teams and 3 Big Ten.
So what's going to happen, W. Lynn, if Vanderbilt goes 10-2, they might get left behind, right?
Well, as of yesterday, Oklahoma's 11th. That's where we'd be probably if we were 7-2.
Right.
They got bumped by Miami because Miami's ACC number 1 and they're 15th, so they get bumped.
But
BYU, who's 12th, gets bumped by South Florida. So you better get yourself in the top 10 because the way the ACC's beating each other up, they might not really have anybody in the top 12.
Matt was saying
now,
yesterday
Miami might get bumped by an ACC champ that makes the championship game and wins it because if Miami doesn't make the ACC championship game, they could get bumped.
That's right,
in their
Brian.
own league.
That's right, Brian. Or do they acknowledge Miami and put them in as an at-large team, which would start World War IV if they did that after the disappointing stretch Miami's had here?
And if you go to 16 teams, which I've done, the SEC gets 7, and we all get in. We, the SEC, and the Big Ten still only gets 3. So that's why the Big Ten's not for our 11-5 plan.
Oh, no question.
In 16 teams, we get 7 in. Big Ten gets 3. The only team that gets bumped is Georgia Tech. At 16, gets bumped by South Florida.
Yeah, the Big Ten wants guaranteed 4 spots. The SEC's smart to hold the line on that because Love isn't always on time on that. And so as far as this whole playoff thing goes, W. Lynn, I'm glad you're still paying attention because I've unplugged from it. But it would be very curious to see if Vanderbilt comes in here. They beat Kentucky. They beat us and don't make the playoffs, Brian. Would you find that mildly amusing, Brian Hartman, yes or no? Or would you find that an injustice? Which one, Bri?
Well, I'd probably laugh at it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm all for a rival getting screwed over, so.
How about you,
we
W.
can't
Lynn?
have Vandy beat us. That's just intolerable.
What about if Vanderbilt beats us, W. Lynn? Do we root that they get left at home at 10-2?
Yes, I do root they get left at home.
But you're arguing that the SEC ought to get all these teams in, but you want Vanderbilt left at home.
No,
it's
not
beautiful.
Vanderbilt. I don't count them.
Beautiful.
If Vanderbilt gets in, whatever construction company is ever doing a renovation on the Gay Street Bridge,
yes,
they need to construct a 20, 30 meter platform,
yes,
and call it the Negative Platform Diving.
You know what I thought you were going to do? I thought you were going to put Danny White's expanded student section up there on the Gay Street Bridge. Give them binoculars and let them eat cake.
But, yeah, they could have a jump-off platform and name it after Negative, and it might be about 30 meters down to that water, and that's where people would be lined up if Vanderbilt beats us and makes the playoff. The Negative Platform. And, a construction company might get some money for people to do that.
W. Lynn, thank you. I think Danny White will expand the stadium up there on Gay Street and give the kids, put it like an extra student section for the kids that got locked out.
Now, what's this let them eat cake thing mean? Explain that like I'm 4. That's over my head.
Look up Marie Antoinette, Bri. It's a little bit of history. Cinco, you're back. Cinco wants to make a point here about this hiring season that's coming up, and I think it's food for thought. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, well, not to ring the panic alarm here, but all these teams, and there'll be more that let go of coaches, they're all pretty much saying we're letting this person go because we think we can do better. But they aren't inventing any new coaches out there. I mean, we've seen them try to dip into the NFL. I mean, I guess Joe Brady might have a chance somewhere, but you don't hear a whole lot of that, moving down, so to speak, after Belichick. And so I hear guys like, the guy from Tulane, and there's some other ones, up-and-comers, but there's no guarantee those guys are going to make it or be successful at the big time. So it's pretty much just going to be like a shell game in New York City, moving coaches around. Well, frankly, one of the most attractive coaches in the country is our coach. And a lot of people are going to be spending a lot of money. And I'm not saying we should be happy or sad or give him more money or not give more money. I just want to, if people don't think the schools are going to contact his agent,
Trace
Armstrong, and gauge his interest, I think we're crazy. Of course they are. And if he wants to reset his clock, whatever, we're kind of in a pickle. What do we do? There's only one Lane Kiffin, and I'm not on record as saying Kiffin's any better than the guy we got.
Well, the guy we got's been no playoff.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's no improvement out there. Nick Saban's not walking through that door.
No, he's not. Nick Saban got a bunch of guys rich, is what he did, and got a bunch of guys fired. Sean brings up
they got rich too.
Sean brings up a really interesting point, doesn't he? Because if you're Josh Heupel, and you think to yourself, because I guess the concept is, do I like a place enough to get fired from it? Because if I stay long enough, I'm going to get myself fired. If I leave 5 years in, I reset my clock, which is what Blake Topmeyer's article was about last week, that a lot of people misunderstood. I think Blake's right. I read the article. I put him on here. I thought about it. I think it's well thought out. Penn State would die to have our coach. Okay? Penn State would freak to get Josh Heupel to be their coach. You could say, well, that's not true. That's not true. I'm telling you right now, they're talking about Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline has as much head coaching experience as I do. So let's talk about that when we continue on the other side. Is Cinco right? Should we have our dopper up for our coach to be on somebody's wish list before this thing's over? Because I think it's finna get crazy up in here after this.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Shout out to my man Clark Moore over at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boys pays cash for your tickets. Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash. And thank you for your help on our Amachi tailgate. We're going to do a TLD Logistics Overdrive. Overtime. In the meantime, and I do mean you bow thy head when you say thy name. William Pattison up next year on Fan Run Radio. Shout out to Dubsy and the gang. After that, we love you. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Cinco brought up a really, really, really interesting little deal I want to build on here. Said we weren't going to do any overtime, and here we are.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Love you and nobody else.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Sugar pie, honey bunch. Man, I'm weak for you, living Vol fan. I was going to get off here and go walk in the sun. And we only have so much daylight because winter's going to turn to spring and you haven't accomplished a thing. All right, let's go. It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Sean, okay, so Heupel is, let's talk us out here. Heupel is a marketable coach. I agree with you. What happens, you and Brian, and by the way, we have no calls, so if you want to jump in, 865-200-5402. If not, this will be the last thing we say, and it's a fun thing to talk about anyway. What happens if Tennessee beats New Mexico State, because you don't lose for the Amachi kids. Not even Butch Jones lost on the Amachi tailgate week. Not even Derek Dooley. He didn't lose those games. Nobody loses for the Keith Hatfield Memorial Amachi tailgate week. We're undefeated. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and the Amachi kids see a victory. What happens, Sean, if he loses to Florida and loses to Vanderbilt, and they're still out there getting crazy and haywire? Is he still hireable then? What do you say?
Absolutely, because he has a track record of putting up points and offense. I don't think it's him that's the key. It's the jobs and the program. So you take a look at there's one Lane Kiffin. Okay, so that's going to say it's either going to move to Florida or whatever. But there could be some repositioning. Dabo Sweeney goes to Arkansas, as some are suggesting might happen. Who knows?
Yep.
Maybe Sarkisian. He loses to A&M. He's fragile enough as it is without the firing squad behind his back. Maybe he goes pro. Whatever. There's been talk about these things.
Yep.
So what brands are out there? There aren't a whole lot of marquee coaches out there to fill these brands. I mean, you get LSU, that's a brand. Texas, potentially, that's a brand. Florida, that's a brand. Penn State, that's a brand. Clemson, I know they have championships, and I don't want to run them down, but that's Tennessee, Oklahoma, if things go south, and God forbid the coach's wife takes a turn. You never know how life works out. Things go differently. So, first of all, Josh Heupel can expect a huge raise this year, regardless, whether it's here or wherever. But
wow,
yeah, I mean, he's an absolute marketable guy, even at 8-4 and 7-5, because he's put up numbers, and there is not a deep pool of head coaches out there.
Cinco, you just popped my brain, man. You just popped my brain, and here's why. You're right. There's a scenario on board where Tennessee goes 7-5. Our fan base thinks this guy's going to be on the hot seat next year. And Danny White's going to put a release out saying we've given this guy a huge fat raise. And it's going to be because of the crazy conditions and that all these jobs are open. Because invariably what's going to happen is LSU thinks they're hiring somebody right now. How many times do these teams get their top choice? How many times? You tell me.
Not often.
Not often, if ever. Florida thinks they're going to get whomever, Lane Kiffin, whomever. Penn State thinks they're hiring Brian Hartline. Okay, whatever. I don't know. Some people think Drinkafist's going there. Add a couple oddball deals to it. Say the Oklahoma job opens. Say, and the whole thing with Oklahoma and Heupel, that always sounded good, but that's not even what we're talking about. That's so far off the... What Sean's saying is, say Clemson opens and they say, you know what, we're really tired of looking at Dabo ball and being stuck on 20 points. Because outside of last year, that's what Dabo Swinney football turned into. It was unwatchable offensively. And maybe they turn around and say, you know what? This guy is a bright young guy. He presents well. They got no trouble in their program. He's a good man. He's a good human being. He doesn't deal with thugs. There's a lot to sell there with Josh Heupel.
He would have made a 12-team playoff twice in 4 years, too.
There you go.
If you think about it.
How many coaches can say that?
Well, if Matt Campbell's still marketable, then Josh Heupel blows him out of the water. Because he's going to throw the ball around. He's exciting on offense.
Yep.
He doesn't do anything screwball.
Yep.
I mean, he frankly is great, and I want to be on record. I'm glad we got him, not because we're talking about this. I've said all year long. I'm glad he's our coach. I'm glad he's representing our school. I wish he did a couple little things differently, but I don't want him to leave, and there's no one out there that I want better.
Oh yeah.
Or more, unless Saban's coming back into it, and that's not going to happen. But it does set up interesting. Take a look at here over thing, and I know we take a look at brands and say so where. But here's another thing: where does let's say someone in Heupel saying where's he go? Take a look at if you want to talk about numbers. James Franklin is a more accomplished coach. If you said playoff, Franklin got through a couple rounds last year.
Yep.
And he's going to Virginia Tech. That's not even a horizontal movement. That's a movement that's below. So where do you go? And do you say, hey, I might go here because I'm going to get more money. I'm going to restart. I'm going to Conzo this thing.
I don't know about that, Sean. I don't know if he goes. I don't know if Virginia Tech's a good enough spot for Franklin. To your point.
Well, I agree, but that was the heat coming up couple weeks.
No, you're right. Because I think Florida could look at it and go, you know what? This guy will get us. Because if Franklin goes to Florida, the way he recruits, Sean, he would get them back and communicate and connects with people. He would get them back pretty quickly to prominence in this deal. So here's the thing that's really interesting, though, as Sean talks about it. The level of appreciation for Heupel's pretty high. Lose that Vanderbilt game, go 7-5. lose to Georgia Tech to start out next season, as Brent's over here saying and his seat, his ass is under a Bunsen burner, and it's on full blast.
Well, here's a name for you. I mean, take a look. Is Lincoln Riley now rehabilitated himself that he becomes a player? Because I'm sorry, he's not recreating Pete Carroll's thing out there. He's taking a hit. They don't have money. No. I mean, they may have money, but they're not spending it.
He sucks. He doesn't do anything for me.
he's got Heisman Trophy winners. He's got big time offense. He's not far away from what he did at Oklahoma. That's, what is the lag between you were that guy and now you're not that guy?
I know, right? What happened to him? I mean, you can say what you want to say about Heupel not caring about the defensive side of the ball or whatever. That guy does not even pretend to care about the defensive side of the football. Just like the guy at Oklahoma, Sean, does not even pretend to care about the offensive side of the ball. Have you ever seen a team, Sean, so inept on offense that was so damn good on defense as that Oklahoma team 2 weeks ago? It's like they don't even give a damn about it.
And we couldn't get a dub.
Oh, no. Every athlete they have, Sean's on defense. Every athlete on their team. And I mean, those guys run like the damn wind. All right, let's go. My sense of Franklin is if Virginia Tech's all he can get, he'll wait out the cycle. So we might look up and Heupel's involved with a job and says, you know what, I want to restart my clock. As I said when Blake Topmeyer wrote that article that some thought he was just trying to inflame, I think it's plausible. I think it's plausible that Josh Heupel would get involved in another job. And here's what he knows. If I finish this season 7-5 and I lose to Virginia Tech next year, or Georgia Tech rather, and these guys have to think this way, and I know I've got a 9-game schedule that's way harder than any schedule I've seen in a while, these people are going to be up my rectum. I mean, they're going to do a full cavity search on me. They're going to be so far at my rear end. So he can go from, and this is the deal, he can go from finishing 7-5, flirting around with a couple of jobs, getting a raise like Sean's talking about, because he'll get a raise. Even at 7-5. It'll piss you off. I'll be angry about it when it happens because I'll say, well, he doesn't merit that. But he will merit that because that's going to be the market. And then going to next season with either a redshirt freshman quarterback or a freshman quarterback, neither scenario is all that inviting if we're honest about it. A defense that needs a complete overhaul. Pretty good young, I guess, offensive line. I guess they're okay in certain spots. Pretty good wide receiving core. But it's very, 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 very interesting to consider. And I don't think Sean's being an alarmist either. Because here's the thing. The sport is nuts. And there are a lot of programs that think they're getting their coach that are not going to get their coach. And that's what's going to put all this in play. And that's kind of your point, Sean. You got 8 or 9 jobs open, and all of a sudden, you get down to candidate 4 or 5 on these 8 or 9 jobs. Josh Heupel's name is going to be on several of those lists before it's over. He's going to have several opportunities.
Yep. Well, it's the game's changed totally. I mean, you mentioned earlier about Ed Orgeron perhaps going to. Ed Orgeron is just a position coach now. He's not relevant in recruiting anymore. You know, back in the day, Trooper Taylor, Kevin Steele, and those guys are just position coaches now. And we have a marketable, I would say, a top 10 head coach. Because he has a brand of football that people can look at and say, yeah, that translates. He's leading the SEC. He's got a Blitnikoff winner. He's got a running back who was SEC Player of the Year last year, Offensive Player of the Year, been to the playoffs. That's an easy sell a desperate program and desperate donors.
Josh Heupel updates Gerard McCoy.
Yeah,
says
saw that.
He continues to do the right things to give himself a chance here at the end of the year.
And I think that plays
more on the
into
football
this
side of it.
I think these two are connected in a weird way, because I think there is a situation where, it's good for McCoy to solidify, if he's healthy, his top 10, 15 status, but also it goes and locks down these last. He's good enough to contribute to wins if he's healthy in these last 3 games. I'm not saying this week, but last 2 games. Because 9-3 is important right now, and getting a bowl game at 10-win, that's hugely important.
Back to our phones we go. I'm in the I believe McCoy plays when I see it category, and I do think he's really tried hard, and I respect the hell out of that. And I do think he's been a terrific teammate, and I do think the goal at one point was for him to play, what game was it, the Arkansas home game? The goal was to get back, and then he had another just terrible setback where he had all that swelling and all that pain. And I mean, he's tried really, really hard to get back. That is a huge ask, and now you're at the point in the season. But you're right, Sean. Without the 2 Wilsons, he could go out and get some cardio against Florida, because I don't know if anybody that can get you the ball, and I don't know if anybody get the ball to. I mean, hell, Boo Carter might play functional football in that game. Let's go to the phones. And I don't mean to take a shot at him, but he's a guy worthy of cracking on at this point. Because I find him to be, let's see, how do I put this? He's not serious. He's an unserious player. But he's making serious money. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Brother, you can take every shot you want to at 23. Every one he gets is well deserved. And I'm not for picking on sophomores in college, but it's you go right ahead.
Well, he's a professional football player now.
He is a professional football player at this point. And
unserious player.
It's not just unserious. There's never been a more me first guy and me first family, and that includes the ones that's out here at UCLA now.
We're living in the me first era now. I don't know how these coaches, I know they're getting rich, these head guys are, and these assistants. I wouldn't do it for all the tea in China, fellas.
I'd do it for $10 million a year. Hey, so the only thing I would disagree with was the idea that if Heupel doesn't jump at the Penn State job, if it was a chance, he's making a mistake because he will be fired eventually at Tennessee. I mean, there's all kinds of cases of guys not getting fired at jobs. I mean, you got to go win ball games, but Josh Heupel probably thinks the way that most competitive people think, which would be, he doesn't think I'm losing to Georgia Tech to start the year next year. He thinks I'm going down there to blow them out. Now, soft, weak-minded individuals might think, what if we lose to Georgia Tech? That is, the mentality of some, but I don't think that's the mentality of and if that is the mentality of a coach, then they're not the right coach.
No, you've got a great point, but I think all these guys know how fickle this deal is, and I think the criticism, Rusty, if they finish 7-5, you think Heupel's ever face the heat like he's going to face it here with our fan base?
I still think he's going to have a bunch of apologists. The majority of people are going to apologize and say
that'd be really
you
interesting.
And me both said, well, you and lots of other people, myself, we all said when Joey Aguilar was found in the portal and everything went down, this is a throwaway year. And I think there's going to be enough people out there
I hope you're right.
in his support that's going to say it was a throwaway year.
I hope you're right, but losing to Vanderbilt will be, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. However, don't lose to Vanderbilt. And I'm sure Josh Heupel's not thinking about losing to Vanderbilt or losing to Florida. I do not want any part of running any coach out of town, because there's like 4 jobs that are as good as Tennessee's job available right now, and none of them have a clue what they're about to do. They're all hoping.
Yep. And that's Sean's point.
And hope isn't a strategy when it comes to doing something legit like hiring a football coach or running a business meeting.
Well, it's Sean's point. That's why we're not going to be surprised to see Heupel's name on these lists, because if we don't, I'll be surprised. It'll be an upset if his name's not on these lists.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Penn State may get Drinkowitz because they that's who they've targeted or whatever. But when you get down to like Florida and LSU both striking out, you know Heupel's name's going to come up, which means he's probably going to get a raise. And then, like we talked about yesterday, when he gets a raise, he's going to get a different buyout number, which means you can't fire him as easy. Hopefully, this athletic director is wise enough not to do what Indiana's did, which is say it cost us $90 million to fire you, but you can leave for $15. Hopefully, if that does happen, it's equal money on both sides to him wanting to leave or the university wanting to get rid of him.
I give Danny White a lot of credit because Tony Vitello had to pay his own and is paying his own $3 million buyout to get out of town. And they take that money and reinvest it right back in their program with that Florida coach. That was some great ADM by Danny White, not letting himself get caught in that spot. That's a great point.
What you're supposed to do.
Yes.
It's what you're supposed to do. And whoever the athletic director is in Bloomington is a buffoon that got taken to the cleaners.
Well, also, that school's never won at high level in football before. It's something they never had to deal with. So I think he kind of got carried away there.
But to Russ,
you have to know. You've been good at basketball. You know how to negotiate contracts. If you're an athletic director, you would think you can't let Signetti get a 10-year deal where he gets every penny of it if you fire him, and him be able to leave for basically pennies. Because now people think Signetti's out of the running. Penn State will pay that $15 million for him tomorrow.
And probably, and they could roll up pennies for it. To your point,
yes,
just to make the point.
So could the people in Gainesville or Baton Rouge. No way an athletic director should have signed that deal. They should have made him leaving cost almost the same as it does for them to fire him. Is what it should have been.
Like $50 million. I'll give you 90, and your buyout's $50 million.
Yeah, that would have made sense. Yeah. Hey, appreciate the latitude, man. Later, buddy.
Thank you. And the thing about all this stuff is, when you're sitting around with your friends, this is what we're doing here. Because I'm eating on the air. I told you I'm going to run and go get in the park.
Someone's going to have to explain the attraction of Drinkwitz. I mean,
I agree.
He doesn't recruit like Franklin does. Everyone had Franklin fatigue because he couldn't win the big one. Neither can Drinkwitz.
Who does win the big
one? And he has a nothing personality.
And he can stand on business, though.
I kind of like that he's a little feisty guy, and I like that he triggers Matt Dixon. Those are two things I like about him.
Okay. Well, to each his own. But he's in the eye of the beholder. But you'd potentially be hiring a guy that's not as good in everything as the guy you just fired, and he's not as good in the same way.
Why do I keep thinking the guy at South Carolina is going to end up at Virginia Tech where he restarts his clock? That just makes too much sense, doesn't it?
Well, if they go 3-9, is he hireable? Would that?
Sure, he is at Virginia Tech. He's hireable there.
Okay, well, that might be a good.
Because they could come back.
Just to show you how fluid it is, because there's a guy, Keith Niebuhr or something. I don't know these names, but he's someone of note. He was saying that his industry source says. Franklin, I know it was said about Dabo, but Franklin to Arkansas picking up some steam. So it appears that Arkansas is going to be kind of a initiating thing with all of these deals.
A player. And you know what? If they can get the people in Springdale interested, and the people in Springdale or Tyson Foods or whomever.
Brothers.
When we had that, not Springdale, I'm sorry. Where is Bentonville? Bentonville, thank you. When you found out that Missouri's getting more Walmart NIL money than Arkansas is, that's probably not a good sign for your athletic director. And one thing I'll give to Danny White, look, I'll poke at him and make fun of him, and he's got a student section that's going to end up, after they do the renovation of the Gay Street Bridge, up there on the Gay Street Bridge, an observatory for the students.
Are they going to have to stand up at the baseball stadium?
Make them stand at the very top of that thing, and what you do is you extend it out.
It's an overlook.
An overlook, like 150 feet.
They're going to be all at the north end zone leaning over.
Yeah, and maybe what you could do for the students, Danny, if you're listening, is have a zip line that ties from there to there, and the kids could play while they're watching the games. Okay, so
that's fantastic.
Thank you, Danny. Get in touch with me later. I'll help you design it. But I give him a lot of credit for the Tony Vitello thing. You got to be very nimble these days as an AD, like Rusty said, because in one sense, Indiana re-signed, and Hoosier Ryan, close your ears. But if that's an accurate thing, that $15 million is the buyout, y'all done stepped in it, as we say in the trade. Because that ain't going to float. But if Arkansas decides to get in the game, they've got enough money and enough of a location near enough football players, not in their state, but certainly in that footprint, to go and get enough players to get back in the game, because they're not in the game right now. Sean, when you and I were growing up, Arkansas mattered. They're not even a runaround car right now, Sean.
Nope. Nobody. I mean, another one. And I don't think they have a ton of money there, but what does Florida State do?
Yep.
There are a lot of coaches hanging around because they can't afford the buyout.
Yep.
That Cotton Bowl game that year felt like you beat somebody when they played Arkansas in it.
Brian, they were substantial.
That felt like it mattered.
They were excellent back then, Brian.
Well, Tony, before we get out of here, I want to congratulate you, Lance, Lauren, and David, and all your other people have been a very small part, like myself, and the late great ZR, and everything I saw where the Fountain City Ramblers were mentioned as one of the best folk bands by the Knoxville. I mean, by whoever does those things in Knoxville. So, congratulations, you guys. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we won the silver medal, which is I had no idea we were nominated for something, but that's neat. So,
absolutely, you deserve it. You guys have been working hard, and keep on keeping on. So, congratulations to all those guys.
Back to our phones we go. Yeah, we have like a conglomerate these days of people, including the great Justin Carpenter and whoever will sit in with us depending on the day. My friends at VIP Play, look, my Flyers are in action tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. Jets are in trouble. Why? Because I'm red hot. And it's time for a money line power play. Brian, give me something out of college football tonight to pair with my Flyers. I'm going to do a little parlay. I'm going to mix and match here.
There's Maction tonight in college football.
Yep, let's go.
Buffalo and Central Michigan, 2 5-4 teams. Central Michigan is a 2.5-point favorite at home.
In honor of Danny White, I'm playing Buffalo as a live dog.
Okay. There's UMass 0-9 versus Northern Illinois. That's an 11.5-point. UMass is an 11.5-point underdog at home.
In honor of John,
Northern Illinois.
In honor of John Calamari, and this mention of Arkansas and all the squids everywhere, I will go ahead and I will play UMass tonight. So my power play is going to be Joshy boy, UMass catching the points, Buffalo catching the points, and my Philadelphia Flyers on the money line tonight. Joshy boy, head right on over to VIP Play. You make your first bet, $20. You get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase it pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. It's not negative, but TN Tony. And remember, 200 leagues, live always, numerous bet types, props, options. They got you covered at VIP Play. where everybody gets treated like a VIP. And the number, if you have a gambling problem, is 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And you can bet. I'm going to stay on here because I told you I was getting off the air, but I do have to get off here momentarily because on the TLD Logistics phone lines, we're going to be doing Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. No, we're not doing a fit. What are we doing tonight, Brian? Basketball overtime.
Basketball OT.
Vols are a 40-point favorite, and I didn't mix business with pleasure tonight. I don't bet on Tennessee athletics because I don't mix business with pleasure. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Richard.
Richard, how we doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. Dr. Sean and Brian, beautiful day it is for all of us, and again, another day that God has created that's amazingly beautiful for us. But a wonderful conversation. First of all, let's see here. On quarterback situation, Tony, next year real quick. George McIntyre is going to be the starter ahead of the young freshman, Faison. That kid he just turned 17, Tony, during this high school season. He'll be reporting to Tennessee at 17. So he is still a very, very young kid. He's not, like the kid that plays here in Nashville that's committed to Georgia. He's already 19 years old. So he's much more older and much more mature and probably ready to go play in the SEC.
Hey, Richard, is that Curtis kid as good as they say he is? I don't mean to pull you off your thing, but I heard he gave a couple kids concussions the other night. I hear he's insanely great, this kid.
Oh, he is. He's Georgia's got him a really, really good one, and there's no doubt. I think Brandon has more upside talent overall than him and I think that's why the recruiting people look at that, because he is so young and so, like I said, the kid just turned 17 here or in North Carolina, and the fact that, what he's able to accomplish and stuff at such a young age, that's what's got most of the scouts drooling after the kid committed to us, is just his age and how he carries himself, how he plays on the football field is well ahead of what his age should dictate. But yeah, no, the kid Georgia's got is really, really good. He'll win a lot of ball games for them in the future, because he's going to have a lot of talent around him. So, but that's my take on that. I think George McIntyre, one thing people don't realize, what we talk about, one thing Joey brought back to this offense, Tony, was his ability to throw the deep ball. Well, if you go back and you watch George and you watch any of his football tape, he's as good of a deep ball thrower that I've seen out of high school in a long time. He puts air under it like Tony Robinson used to put air under it when he threw the deep ball. And to work Heupel's team to really make that offense go, you've got to hit on them downfield shots, because that makes everything else, the inside game, the quick outs, all of it works because you can threaten the team down the field. That's why it's going to be hard to keep Mac off the field next year, and unless they just feel like they got a fifth-year senior coming in that they got to have because of his inexperience. That's all
they missed that so much last year, hitting a deep ball down the field.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. And like I said, especially for what Heupel's offense is trying to do. Now, as far as I'm not nowhere close to being out on the season, never will. I'll go back to my days of us going to the Blue Bonnet Bowl and watching Tennessee as a 4 or 5 loss team back in the days, So I'll live with the Vols all the way up to the season ends, whatever game that is, and I'll root them on and hope they win. So because in this day of college football today, if all you're ever going to live by, if you're lucky to get in that 12-team playoff, and if you don't get into a 12-team playoff every year, which certain amount of teams have to go in ahead of you, regardless if they're not any better than you because they won their conference, it's going to be difficult. And unless you're maybe a couple of teams that should think that they're going to get there 75% of the time. But if that's going to be your criteria, it's like y'all were just talking, these teams are going to be changing coaches every 4 or 5 years. So when you get a young head coach like we have, and he has a lot of upside, there's things he's got to work on, and we've talked about those at nauseum, other things that he needs to get better. But I'm telling you, you better, when you got someone when you are there in November heading into November and you're talking about the playoffs, you better keep that coach who gets you in that conversation every year, because Tony, it's going to be crazy how many of these coaches are going to be fired every 3 or 4 years because their team expects to be in that playoff. And let me tell you, that's not going to happen for the majority. That's not going to happen for 99-point-something% of all schools playing in our division.
It's foolhardy, Richard. It's foolhardy.
Yeah.
And this whole concept of you've had a bad season because you missed a playoff, to me, this year is erroneous because, first of all, you weren't going to make the playoff with Nico, and second of all, when he left, you really weren't going to make the playoff. And if they finish 9-3, again, I'm going to say this again: that's an A-level coaching job. A-level.
Yeah, well, it is.
People don't want to hear that.
Talk about just the difficulty. I mean, look at Lane Kiffin's the talk of the town, right?
Yep.
Everybody.
Yep.
We want Lane Kiffin. Well, he had a better team, Tony, last year than he has this year.
They were loaded.
They lost 3 games.
He choked. Yeah, they choked against. You can't lose to Kentucky if you're him. That's what we call that a choke job in sports, man.
But in our league, Tony, you know as well as I do, if your team doesn't show up, you can lose to anybody in our league.
Hell yeah.
All these other leagues, you don't lose to those type of teams in these other leagues if you're a top team, man. You just don't.
Yep.
But in ours, you have to button it up every week.
That's what was so weird, Richard, about James Franklin letting Nico run all over him and never putting a spy out there and never slowing that down. That looked like he wanted to lose that game or something. That was bizarre looking, Richard.
Well, that was a team that lost to Oregon when they knew they should have beat them in overtime if they just fall on that fumble, and that's a team he didn't care that week. And that's what happens in college football sometimes.
Yep.
It's like Florida last week against Kentucky. Explain that. Florida's not great, but they still have as better players than Kentucky. That's a team who could care less about being on that field last week.
It's disgraceful. That's a disgrace to
competition.
competition.
That's how Penn State was. That Penn State, by the time they tried to wake up and play in that UCLA game, it was too late.
Yep.
And they had all the momentum. And that's college football in a nutshell. And everybody's got money. Everybody can buy players. Everybody can try to fill the team. And so this is going to be I'm like you. This off season is going to be incredible. It's going to be pop your popcorn every day because it's going to be something new. So, all right, guys, I know you want to get finished because I know you got a busy night tonight. We'll listen tonight, Tony, after the basketball game.
Love you like a brother. That's how it's got to stay. So don't need no reminder of my love that went away.
What he's saying is, but Heupel's agent's not doing his job if he doesn't float something out there.
I agree with that. And by the way,
that's whether Josh wants it or not. Every coach wants a raise. Coach wants a renegotiation. Every coach wants more money for the portal.
Yep.
For the NIL, for whatever.
Yep.
Absolutely. Is it Sexton in that group? I don't keep up with that.
Heupel's not a Sexton guy because Danny White's not a Sexton guy. Heupel is a Trace Armstrong guy, I believe.
Okay, well, obviously that's what they're going to do. They're going to do that, and I would encourage to get him back and give him what we need. But and Richard makes some good points. I mean, we have if you look at there was a graph out on Facebook the past few days about youth, and I think we in Florida have the youngest teams in the league right now, and Florida actually has a higher percentage of seniors or graduates than we do. So technically, we have the youngest team. A lot of things, but missed opportunities are missed opportunities. I'm not hanging the guy for that. They are. You're right. Saying 9-3, you've said that thing. I thought it was an 8-4 season, but there were still missed opportunities, and then you can't just whitewash those things. Those things did happen, and they didn't have to happen because you could be in a different position. But for the record, I'm for Josh Heupel. I want him to stay here. I think a couple of little minor tweaks could take place. A couple of different emphasis could take place. They're going to be uncomfortable for him.
Yep.
I get it because of what he went through at Oklahoma. But, unfortunately, now more than ever, this is big boy sports with big money sports too. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. And golly, I'd buckle up, as Austin Price said, and I'm paraphrasing again what he said. get ready for rosters all over the country to be very fluid since you only have one transfer portal this year.
He needs to AC his DC. But Cinco, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Congratulations again.
Cinco, what's your favorite AC/DC tune?
Man, I mean, when I played with you guys, we loved doing Back in Black.
It's an incredible song.
I love Hell's Bells. I like a whole lot of Rosie.
There you go.
They're like ZZ Top. They just don't have. And the great Vince Keller, if you're listening out there, one time said AC/DC is the best party band, and I said I don't know about that. He's right. They are the best party band ever.
Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
They don't write many bad songs.
Bon Scott or Brian Johnson? Who you like better?
I didn't know Bon Scott. I came to that game late, so I can't speak to it. In music, in sports, when our heroes die early, they gain a reputation that is bigger than what it really was. So I don't know. I think it's a hell of a job by Brian Johnson to come in after him, pick up the torch, and keep it going. Because if I'm not mistaken, Brian Johnson sang on Back in Black, right?
Yes, he did. That was his voice.
Well, that was their launch pad. I know they were good, but that took them to a different stratosphere.
Yep. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Great jam.
Hell's Bells.
Thunderstruck. Great jam.
All right, Tom. Thanks.
Love. Brian Hartman will be with me tonight. Brian, you'll be in studio tonight?
I'll be here tonight. Yeah, I'll be
on with you. I'm going to be on with Brian. I'm Brian's co-host tonight on Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime.
The Chasliner Bowl.
That's right. Good gosh, Brian. As Tennessee
Chasliner Bowl.
As Tennessee continues to wind their way through Quad 4, bring on all those Quad 4 teams. We ought to play two of them in one night. Really make a statement. Love you. Appreciate y'all. Dave likes Bon Scott. For the record, I'm going to have to reevaluate my appreciation of Bon Scott. Now, Dave, you know what? Your story, Laura and I were talking yesterday. Your self-deprecating story was so endearing yesterday. I just want you to know that you would take the time to steal a license plate, commit a federal crime basically for your road trip to Florida back in 1985 is so appreciated, man. It's kind of inspiring, really. I really need the name of your accomplice next time you call in and tell the story. You need to give your accomplice up. It's 40 years. He ain't gonna care. Yeah, I need the name of your accomplice. Till we meet again. My name's Basilio. I love you. I'm not sure if you love me, but I'm your Barney here. We love you. Peace and G to the B to the O and take the bow. Here's today's show right back at you.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Fire this thing up, focus this thing, and prepare this thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is your Tony Basilio show. It is a Wednesday. Rice fans and the Vols are about to get back in action this weekend, and the world will never be the same, as it's football time in Tennessee. And also our Machi tailgate, which we're excited about. I was doing some things for the tailgate just a second ago, and I looked up, and Laura said, "Do you realize what time it is?" And I said, "No, I do not." And she said, "Well, you're late." And I said, "Well, that kind of hurts, because I've really made a, I not only was this year the geophysical year of the common fan, 2025 is also the geophysical year of being on time for whatever it is you're doing. And I failed miserably in both ends. But Sean Sinclair, we press on, brother. We press on today. Be great to see the Vols back in action, will it not? As Joe Kirt's going to join us today here in a little bit. Cinco, how we doing? Cinco. Brian, can you hear me? It doesn't sound like Cinco can hear me. Brian, boy. Uh-oh, sweetie.